Hi, everyone, and welcome to our week 2 of our 6-week series for sports nutrition and training. My name is Sylvie Doe. I'm your coach for the series, and I'm so proud to be here. Truly grateful to be asked to do this for a good friend of mine, Drew Kamer, who is an avid cyclist in Florida. And so together we put this series together, and so thank you very much, everybody, for coming out tonight and taking a little bit of time away from the family just to have a listen and possibly pick up some tips for cycling and to improve your cycling performance and your nutrition base. I've got a little diagram here that we can work off. So anyways, just truly grateful to be here because I love cycling. I just love cycling so much that, I've made it almost part of, a big part of my life. It's a big part of my passion. I'm a level 3 national cycling coach. I've coached and trained and managed a women's cycling team for about 6 to 8 years. Totally lost track. I have a women's cycling club. I've had that for 8 years. And the list goes on, and I just, it's just one of my passions. So I'm really, really grateful and thankful to be asked to do these. So tonight, week 2, we've got nutrition during training, and I can't explain how important it is to get good nutrition in before you train. So why does everybody train? Well, because we want to improve our performance, right? If you're training, you either have set a goal. It could be race related, it could be performance related, it could be personally related. Whatever it is, if you're training, you want to beat some sort of goal. So what do you want to do? Besides getting on your bike and hammering it out, 80% of it is good nutrition, as we know. So good nutrition is going to get you across the finish line. It's going to get you up that hill, and it's going to help you recover faster. Okay? So without nutrition, you can do all the training your heart desires, but you're not going to get the results. And when you sit back and say, why am I not doing blah, blah, blah? Really sit down and take a look at what you're eating, because it's not what you're doing, because you're probably doing lots of it, maybe more than you need to. It's about what you're eating and when you're eating. So nutritional timing is a huge thing, and I just love getting into it because what I've been doing is I've been through the Women's Cycling Club, and definitely through my my club. Through the team and my club. I've one of the big things that we do is we talk about nutrition. So what is nutrition, and how do we fit it into our training regime? So nutrition for training. All right. So I have this little diagram here, if you can see it. So we're going to be working off of this. So basically, it's the times of the day. So if you can see that this is 6 o'clock, maybe I'll just do it a little darker. 6, 7 a.m., 8, 9, 10, all the way noon, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so these are the times of the day. So typically people, and I know some people get up super, super early, like 4 or 5 o'clock to get some training in. So, but we'll talk about that in a second. What we'll talk about is the main part, is at the end of the day. So I find like right here is probably the worst part for people's nutrition because they're coming from work. So work related, right? You finish at 4, you got 1 hour, or you finish at 5, you got like, you know, 1 to 2 hours to get to your location of where you're training. Your bike's in your car, you're going home and getting your bike. So what do you want to start thinking about? You want to start thinking about when, okay, first, let's just say for this example, you're training at 6 p.m. with the guys, you're going out for a ride. And you know what kind of ride this is. If you're going with the guys, it's probably a bit of a hard training session. And just a second, I just want to make sure. It's a bit of a hard training session. And so you finish somewhere around here and you're driving to get here. So what do you eat? So I find a lot of people eat very little, maybe like a Cliff Bar or something, you know, but if you're training hard for say like 2 hours here, you really want to think about eating something more substantial about 3 o'clock. Okay, so you've got about, you know, between 3 and 4, you got about 2 to 3 hours to digest and get that food in you for good fuel. Now, what kind of food are we talking about? We're not talking about junk food here. We're talking about, you know, either, you know, like maybe a meal bar, a good solid shake. Maybe it's a good sandwich. I don't know. It wouldn't be one of my ideals to go with. I would probably go with like a bagel sandwich, or bagel and peanut butter, something. But ideally, you've prepared, hopefully, that you're going to need to eat something good before you go training. Okay, I see all sorts of people come out training and they haven't eaten till noon. I'm like, what kind of experience like, you know, what kind of training or workout are you expecting to get in, right? Your energy levels are basically going to drop the first 15 minutes because you have absolutely no fuel in the tank and you've burnt it off. So timing is everything. Now, that being said, you don't want to be wolfing down food an hour before your ride, because that just doesn't work either. Your body is then pooling all the blood to your stomach to digest this food, whatever it is, instead of out to your limbs where you need it the most. Right? You can get away with a good meal shake if you have one, because with liquids it passes a lot easier through the stomach. But something hard like a bagel or a sandwich or like a meal bar, it might cause you like some serious discomfort in your stomach. So you want to keep it light. Now, if you're going to do that, so you've eaten at 3, you get there, you start training at 6. You don't stand around for half an hour and talk. And you definitely want to have, so if you're going for 2 hours, some extra calories with you. That being said, what kind of calories are we talking about? We're talking about, maybe this is where cutting up a bagel and bringing that with you. Your electrolytes in your water is one. A power gel, something that's just to keep your fuel and your energy at a level to get you through your workout. Okay, so that can be, like I said, a power gel. You definitely want to have some sort of electrolytes in your water to get you through your workout. Rule of thumb is, so we're only talking about 2 hours here, and 2 hours, it can be really hard 2 hours, or, you know, an easy 2 hours, but you always, always, always bring food with you. Don't think, oh, I'm going to get through, I've made it through 2 hours, and, you know, I'm not going to need to eat. Okay, so what if in here somebody crashes, or somebody has a flat, or you get lost, and now you're looking at 3 hours of riding, you haven't eaten anything since 3 o'clock. That is bad news. You always want to bring extra food, and then bring one extra, because your buddy might need it. Now, if you're talking about like really long rides, like 3, 4, say 5 hours, and I'm not sure. We'll touch more of these like for event nutrition during events, but like I said, the rule of thumb is 100 calories per 45 minutes to 1 hour you should be consuming. So as soon as your clock starts, like your workout starts at 6, you're like 6:45, 7 o'clock, you should be eating something. Don't wait till 7:30 when you start feeling your energy levels dropping. You're basically too late. Okay? So that's pretty, that's definitely something that you want to think about and really prepare for. Okay, so eating properly, eating a bigger meal about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours before you hit your training ride. Don't wolf down anything beforehand. Don't show up with your empty stomach, or like, you've wolfed down a cookie or something. Be true to your body, because if you want a quality workout, you're going to have to eat some quality food. Okay, you want a crappy workout? It's probably due to what you have eaten or haven't eaten. So, and like I said when I started, if you start questioning why am I not getting better? Why is my performance not improving? Why? It's back to your nutrition. It's back to what you're eating. It's back to what you're putting in your body. Okay, so don't load it up with power gels and sugar all the time, because I've seen people going out and buying boxes of power bars and gels and cubes and jelly beans and all sorts of things, and all I can think of is like how fuzzy my tongue will get after eating those for like a century or something. Like we were talking about in our last like last week, you want to mix it up with some whole foods. Okay, having power gels and something quick is great. They serve a purpose. Eating real food, and having a meal bar with you is better because you have more calories on hand. You can nibble at it. You can chunk up certain foods like your bagels or your sweet potatoes, stuff like that. Okay, so let's go to the early birds who get out and ride. Now, depending on like how much you ate the night before, you can probably get away with it. I wouldn't if I was going for a ride. I would definitely put something in my body, like, maybe half a shake depending on how much I'm riding, maybe a full shake. The products that I use, I've tested them many times, and I could drink a full shake right before right before going out for a ride, and it will not upset my stomach. I won't be burping it up. So that's something that I would personally do. If it's just like an hour ride, like a loop, um, then I probably wouldn't eat, but I would definitely fill up my water bottle with electrolytes and get my calories from there. And then when I get home, I would get right into my breakfast of, some sort of eggs and toast. So that's for the morning. Now, like I said, it's really up to the individual as to how they how their stomach feels. But like I said, if you have a good shake, you can definitely get that in before, so that you're not running on empty. Now, I did not mention our post ride. What do we do after our workout if it's 2-3 hours? So what I like to do is I bring a protein shake with me. I don't shake it up. I've got into the habit of keeping a big 4-liter jug of water in my car. Yes, it gets warm, but I'm always drinking, so I'm always filling up my water bottle, so I'm never looking for water. So I just bring powder in a shaker bottle, and I pour, 8 ounces in, and I shake it up, and I drink it right after my workout. So I have protein powder, or I have a recovery drink. So I use one of the two, and sometimes I even combine them, depending how much I worked out and in the ride. And then like an hour to an hour and a half, I have my full meal afterwards. So that could be a shake, a meal bar, or if I'm actually home at that time, like I make a meal. So that's your post, your pre, your during, and your post recovery. And that's pretty much it for during training. I can't think of anything else right now. Does anybody have any questions Drew, do you have any questions?
Right now.
Cool.
Let's ask the rest of the crowd.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see any hands go up. So it's pretty, that's it, because it really is about timing and making sure the energy levels are strong and they're high while you're training. And to always keep yourself fueled. I can't tell you how many times, because I'm a group leader. As a group leader, it's our job to always keep, and I'm sure with you too, and a couple others here, as group leaders, it's our responsibility to keep our eyes on our group and to make sure. So I always I know it probably gets annoying, but the thing is that people forget, and new cyclists forget, or they're not comfortable enough, and they just don't do it until I say it. So within an hour, I'm like, okay, everybody, it's been an hour. Let's eat something, or make sure to be drinking, or so at least I know that everybody started to eat, because I don't know what they ate beforehand. It's the same if you're training at 9 in the morning and you've been up since 6 a.m. with your kids. So up here, maybe ate breakfast here, and then you've got 2 hours before you ride. So that's 2 hours of burning off the fuel that you just ate up here. So getting started, you could be just about ready to eat some more, right? And then you go for an hour, and then your energy levels start dropping. So so I just keep an eye on my groups. Some people are just like, yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm like, yeah, but it's been an hour. sometimes I just say, like, I don't really care, but I think you should be eating something because I know there's a big hill coming up here, and you're definitely going to expend the rest of your energy on that hill, and it might be good to get it in now. So because we have like still 40K home. Yeah.
Breakfast. I have a tendency to sometimes eat a lot of egg whites for breakfast.
Yeah.
Sometimes with spinach leaves, something like that, or some type of green peppers or something like that. And proteins.
Yeah.
Are they any good before a ride? Instead of healthy carbs.
If you should like at breakfast, if you're going to eat eggs, you should always have some sort of starch. It is at the beginning of the day, so you can kind of get away, especially if you're going riding. I eat like a cup of egg whites, which equals 8 eggs. And then I put salsa in there, and I either have 2 pieces of toast with that or a huge tortilla shell. And then I make like a burrito wrap. So definitely add a toast or 2 in there before a ride, because the proteins are very slow absorbing, and they're not ideal for energy. So mixing them with a carb is really, really good. I know people are like, yeah, I had a protein shake beforehand. I'm like, no, you don't eat a protein shake before you go riding, before you go training, or before you come to my spin class. You save it for afterwards. Have a meal shake before you come to my class or before you go riding, because then you get the energy from the carbs. Okay, protein is not ideal as an energy source before you do anything physical. It's a recovery. It helps the muscles repair.
But there's always taking on too much carbs, correct?
Well, yeah, obviously. But depending, like, I mean, for me, I know that meal is about 400 calories. So the eggs, the salsa, the tortilla, it's about 400 calories in the morning. And you want to have a breakfast the size of at least 300 to 400 calories. It's the same with your lunch, 300 to 400 calories. So that's 800 calories. And then for supper, it's like 400 to 600 calories. And so there you got 12, so that's 1,400 calories. And then in here you've got like a 200 calorie snack and a 200 calorie snack. So it's like 6, 12, 1,800 calories. Mm-hmm. And for a woman, 1,800 calories is about what we need to maintain for a day, like, to function, right? If you're an active, so like 15 to 18. So if you're an active female, you need to up this to balance out the exercise, because then, like, if you go to the gym, like if you work out, say you work out here, you want to make sure you have enough in your breakfast, and then during your ride you might have 200, then you might have like a 200 calorie protein shake, and then you eat this, and so you're not in deficit. You don't want to be in deficit, because then that's going to make you eat all sorts of other things later on in the day, and then you don't want to overdo it either.
in actuality, that a very active cyclist is looking at about 2,000 calories a day for a male who's riding quite a bit.
Yeah.
So if you go to a deficit,
You're going to start chewing up muscle, and you don't want to do that. So for men, it's like, just to sustain yourself, I think it's like 220 to 24, something like this. 1,800, yeah. So you think about it, like I did a 3-hour ride on Saturday, and it told me I burnt 2,000 calories. So I know I didn't eat like I had like my 400 calorie breakfast. I had electrolytes, so saying that's like 100 calories. And then I had a power gel, which is 90. And I had a bar, which is like 240. So that's kind of, what I had on my ride. And I burnt this. So you can see how it doesn't add up. And then I had like 200 calories as a protein shake, and then my 400 calorie meal. But a lot of people look at this and go, oh my God, I can go to the nearest burger joint and eat burgers and fries and beer. And then you get into like eating too much, and now you did this, but then you went and ate like
you're getting into the high fat content and everything else.
And then you see how it starts, and that's why you don't lose weight. One of the reasons, because you figure since I train so hard, I can eat hard and drink, and it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. But you see people who take advantage of this and don't take care of their bodies afterwards.
I've ridden with people that we've gone for a long ride. It's now I can eat a lot of junk. It's saturated fats and all that other stuff that we really shouldn't be eating. It really should never be allowed, no matter how much exercise you do. You eat clean. Eat clean after a long ride.
Yeah, like cycling or even any activity is not going to flush your, flush your body of all the crap. Sorry to say, it's eating clean, like you said, that's going to do it. It's the 10% nutrition, 20% exercise, and even as athletes, we need to keep it clean. And we're the worst eaters because we have that, mentality that, I just went out, or I exercise to eat. Have you ever heard of that? I exercise to eat because I love food so much.
Yeah.
So that's a wrap. It's 9:00, and I don't know if that was a good representation there.
Good. One thing on your next one, if you're going to be using the board, get some fatter markers.